Hi guys, Bella in Lapband Land here, and it has been a really long time since my last video. In fact, it's been 8.5 weeks. And I do apologize. Life has been crazy. Some good and some really sad. So I guess I'll start off with the sad news just to get it out of the way. In my last video, I had a little part at the end there where um, I showed you Lulu, and she was such a good dog, and I am saying was because unfortunately, about 3.5 weeks ago, the gardeners left the gate open, and Lulu got out, and she was hit by a car, and she didn't survive. And it's been really hard because that's the last thing I ever expected to happen. I mean, Lulu was my life. She was just the best dog ever, and I miss her so much. And, I was so diligent about making sure that she wouldn't get out and doing everything that I could to make sure that, I always watched her and made sure the gate was closed and the doors were closed and, whatever. And it just kills me that her life was ended, and it was so senseless. It wasn't like she had a disease or, she was old. It was like she barely passed her 1 year, her first birthday. She was, I think, 14 months old when she passed away. And, the only saving grace, I guess, or I don't even know what you want to say, the one thing that I'm grateful for is that she went instantly and she was in no pain, and also that someone called me. The person who saw the accident called right away, and so I knew what happened to her. So I wasn't like wondering, is she alive? Is she dead? Did someone take her? What happened to her? So I knew, what happened to her, and I was able to get closure. But it has been really tough for me these last few weeks. I miss her so much. She was such a part of my life and who I became. I was Lulu's owner. I was Lulu's mom, and not having her. Sorry, not having her in my life has been really tough. But I do know that I'm going to get another dog. I love having dogs, and I guess I'm a dog person. I've always been a dog person, but I'm definitely a dog lover, and I love being a dog owner. So I'm already kind of in the works to get a new puppy in June after I get out of school. So that's good. But anyway, moving on. Um, so that's the really sad news. I'm, trying to deal with it the best way that I can, but it has been hard. In the midst of all that, 8.5 weeks ago, I started Medifast, and that has been going ridiculously well, like incredibly well, I should say. In 8.5 weeks, or in 8 weeks actually, I've lost 25 pounds. My starting weight was 311.0, and just last week on Wednesday I weighed in at 186, which is, I'm sorry, I wish 186, at 286, which is exactly 25 pounds, which is awesome. And so I have 20 more pounds to go before I hit the 266 weight that Kaiser required for me to begin the process of getting on the waiting list and everything for the lap band surgery. Originally, it was only a 25-pound weight loss that I had to do, but because I had gained weight when I quit smoking, I have the difference to make up. And then I was telling my sister yesterday, actually, I need to lose a little more than 20 more pounds because I really feel like instead of 266, I need to get to 260 because I weigh myself without anything on at home, by myself. But obviously at Kaiser, it's not going to be that way, and I'm going to have clothes on, and I think even the lightest clothes are going to weigh a few pounds. So I want to make sure that I'm way under the required thing. So I'm going to try and get to 260, and then have them take my official weight because obviously they're not going to just go by what I say, like, oh yeah, I weigh this much. They're going to want to see the proof. So I just can't wait for that day. And so I think if I keep going at the pace I've been losing between 2 to 3 pounds a week, and that's because I'm not just straight Medifast. So straight Medifast is you eat 5 of the meal replacements, and then one lean and green meal. And the lean and green meal is 2 cups of vegetables, some healthy oil, and 6 to 7 ounces of protein. And what I do is I have the 2 cups of vegetables, and I have about 4 ounces of protein at dinner, and then throughout the day I'll have like a piece of string cheese or some Greek yogurt, and I kind of count that as to make up for the other couple of ounces of protein that I should have. And it's been working really well because it helps me feel fuller, and I'm probably not losing as much weight as I would if I didn't do that. But you know what? I've been able to stick to it for over 8 weeks, and that I think is a feat in itself because this is very, very restricted. I'm not eating any fruit, not drinking any wine, not having any kind of pasta or bread or crackers or rice. I haven't had some of my favorite foods in so long, like foods that aren't even bad for you, like whole wheat pasta or brown rice, but it's too much carbs, like too carb heavy. So I haven't been having it because I decided, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go big or go home kind of thing. And I want to lose weight. I want to get the lap band surgery so much that, sorry, I'm just trying to adjust this with the lighting. It seems like this is kind of dark. There, I think that was better. Anyway, I really want the lap band surgery so much that I figure I'm going to do whatever it takes to make that happen. So I'm really excited. Things have been going well. It gets a little bit boring. The first week or so, maybe 3 or 4 days were kind of, I was hungry and stuff like that, but then I got used to eating less. And so I'm eating a little bit over 1,000 calories a day. I would say I'm eating probably like maybe 1,100 calories, sometimes 1,200 calories a day. But it's been working really well, and literally I've lost weight every single week. I had 1 week where I only lost 0.4, so like 0.4 pounds. But then the next week I had a huge gain. And the week before that I had a huge, not gain, huge loss. And the week before that I had a huge loss. So overall though, it's been very, very steady, very dependable, very consistent, which is why I like doing the Medifast. And it's a little bit expensive. It costs it's a little less than $300 a month for the Medifast itself, and then however much my like protein and vegetables cost. But you know what? It's been worth it because the weight is coming off, and the weight was not coming off when I was just trying to do it by myself. So I would say I'm extremely determined. I am making it happen. I am totally not depriving myself, but yeah, I'm not allowing myself to have foods that would somehow hinder my ability to lose weight. So I haven't been having most carbs. There's a little bit of carbs in the vegetables that I've been eating, but as far as like actual like carb-laden food, no, I'm not having it at all. Because I figure, you know what, I can do this for as long as it takes to get the 45 pounds off. And then once I have the lap band surgery, I'll be slowly able to introduce more carbs, not a lot of carbs, but some carbs back into my diet, more like fruit. I really, really miss having fruit. So I do think once I get to 260 or 266 or whatever, I am going to probably have a glass of wine, and then I will probably have some fruit and probably sushi or something like that, pasta. I'm kind of missing that a little bit. Got to live a little before the lap band surgery. But anyway, I promise that I'm going to try and make these videos a little bit more often, like at least once every couple of weeks, because this was too long, 8.5 weeks. I'm sure you guys were wondering. But, pretty much it's just like slow and steady. I'm doing my best. I've been, going to the gym, not crazily, because I think the weight loss is happening without doing too much. I go on walks and I go to the gym, but I'm not like super hardcore going to the gym. So that's about it. I hope you guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.